Hello, hello, hello!
Jamie.
I know. I've always wanted to do it.
I'm Christine.
I'm Jamie, as Christine just said.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, did I say I'm Jamie?
No.
Akawar. Let's all do the Akawar.
Ooh.
Do you like it?
I do.
Okay.
You could do like a YMCA.
We
Or
are
Hot to Go.
Akawar. Yeah.
No, like just the hand.
That's it. Yeah, no, I did a different song.
Yeah, and you know, you can also do that to Hot to Go.
How do you do it with Akawar? ACOWAR.
It's the R that gets you.
We're not on video, but Jamie did do the actions.
Yes, I did.
And it sort of works.
Yeah, till the R. But
Yeah.
You need a friend maybe for that one.
But we're finally here. We are back to the Sarah J. Maas, and we haven't been
Yes.
here in a while. We
No.
had our break from the ACOTAR series, but we are back to cover it.
And Feyre is in her revenge era, and I love it.
I do love the beginning of this book, so I'm glad that we're back to it.
Yeah, I was excited for this portion of it. It's hilarious. It's very entertaining to read.
Yes.
She's so just meticulous with all her just slow revenge. I think
And
she
my
does at one time say something like that. Like, you can't.
Patient.
You need to be patient with it. And then it's real good.
My man Lucian is back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that.
Yep. Back to the spring court.
Now, what we wanted to talk about that I think we had brought up previously and we're like, oh, okay, we need to talk more about this.
Yeah.
Which was, oh, you know what? We should talk before this. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, behind the scenes little tidbit. We had tried to record this episode before weeks ago. And what happened was we were recording and our table collapsed because we have a fold up table holding our computer mics and everything else, and our table collapsed and Jamie's drink flew, because just one side collapsed, flew over
down
the entire table and onto her computer,
And
then
my pretty wine glass broke, and I was really upset about that.
That's what you're most upset about?
Well, because
what about the computer?
The computer's okay now.
Well, it's okay now.
Yeah, but at the time it was stressful.
The computer kept blacking out, and so we couldn't continue. And then it was a disaster moment, so we're trying this again.
Yeah, it's our redo.
Anyway.
we will get a new table and set up at some point. January.
Someday.
It's my January to-do list.
Our dreams will come. We are going to talk about... That's Cinderella, by the way.
Oh, thank you for...
If you all wanted to know and download that sweet tune. We wanted to talk about who we would actually cast as love interest, because Jamie and I are both 35 plus.
Yeah.
And so some of our attraction are to men, at least, maybe you can clarify. The ones that I look at are like 40s, sometimes 50s.
Yes, and I also feel like I do look at like the 30s.
Yeah.
Men. Like, I love a lot of them, but
there are these men that, you know, are some of our leading men, but just...
They would not be leading men
in the Fae ACOTAR world, which makes us sad. So we just wanted to list some of our faves.
Yeah. Which I remember I did, which I think we'd also talked about before, but I saw a TikTok where a girl was saying the same thing.
Yeah?
I think she's like, she was 34 maybe.
Yeah.
And very much like, this is who I'm picturing. I know it's not who's described.
We're not supposed to.
Yeah, but this is, and again, beauty of reading. Picture whoever you want.
Exactly. Okay. Obviously we need to start with David Harbour.
Yes. Love David Harbour.
Now, we cast this man as Digby in the Play to Prisoner series, and Digby is sort of a side character, sort of like the father figure to Orin in a sense.
I mean, a lot of stuff he is in, he plays the father figure.
He does, but in my eyes, I'm like, I want to be his wife.
Yes, same.
So he would be someone for me And then I think maybe a universal one is Idris Elba.
100%. I would be upset if anyone
Yeah.
said differently.
I think I have someone in mind for the ACOTAR series, but it does him a disservice to not have him lead.
Yeah, agreed.
The man's got the stuff.
I'm going to throw in Adam Brody now because
you need to you need to throw in Adam Brody.
Current crush.
He's got to be 40 by now, right?
Oh yeah, him and Kristen Bell. They're both 40 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And love him. And see, they're doing great as a leading rom-com pair.
But maybe if we were like 20 something, we might be like, oh, that's an old people rom-com. I don't know.
One I'm going to throw in that's not on your list is Mark Ruffalo. I've always had a crush on him.
13 going on 30.
Yeah. I'm also a big Chris Hemsworth fan.
Mm.
That's me. But I also love, like, The Rock. The Rock's, like...
I know, you're like The Rock, Jason Momoa.
Yeah. But then I also love Adam Brody, so, you know.
No, I'm like I was going to call myself a weirdo, but I'm sure other people are on board with this. But like the Daniel Craig and Liev Schreiber. Anyone?
I love that video of Daniel Craig dancing. I'll give you that.
Yes.
He was great in Bond.
Right?
I'm not a huge blonde fan, to be fair.
See, I am. I like the Scandinavian men.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is blonde, but I usually don't go for the light-haired look.
Another throwback for our generation is Josh Hartnett.
Yes. And I recently watched a movie with him because he's making a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks great.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm like, have you aged? I don't know.
But he has aged, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a side one who maybe not everybody knows, but Steven Yeun. So
right, you had
actually maybe some people know more of him now because I think he's been in a recent movie that was like a really big movie that I haven't seen. I think it was like an Oscar winning movie or like Oscar nominated movie, but I didn't watch it. I have no idea. Don't ask me. We need to Google it, but
I usually try and watch all the Oscar movies.
I don't. But I know him from The Walking Dead.
Right, which I didn't watch, so.
I know him from The Walking Dead, and if you have seen those first few seasons, you absolutely know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might have been attracted to someone else in that series, but for me, he was like, oh.
Yeah.
He was like the ultimate, I want you to be my boyfriend. And this is going to be a spoiler if you're planning on watching The Walking Dead. Don't just fast forward a little bit, but he dies.
Well, now I'm not watching.
Like a lot of people in The Walking Dead die because it's a zombie apocalypse show. But he dies really badly. And it haunts my dreams years later. It's so fucked up. I don't even want to explain it to you because it'll give you nightmares.
Oh, God.
And the person that did it is also really attractive.
So it was a mixed emotions scene?
No, because...
Was it Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
It was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's one of the only people I know that's in the show.
And I hate him in that show because he's the villain. He's really awful.
Oh, I remembered. Okay.
You can't even think of him as attractive in that show because he's so awful.
Oh.
It's so bad. oh my God. Like, revenge for Steven. But, yeah, I want Steven, and then I want Jeffrey D. Morgan in what's it called?
The Doctor Show.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Or whatever else.
Right.
Just not in The Walking Dead, but otherwise. Yes, give me a Jeffrey D. Morgan.
I remembered who I was thinking about. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Right? Another one, Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
I've also always loved Bruce Willis.
Jamie.
I know.
The only time I think I really felt attraction for Bruce Willis was in Friends.
I remember being in elementary school and having a crush on Bruce Willis.
He's very charismatic.
Right?
But maybe that's
and then I think when my
because I
friend's
liked
like,
him in
isn't he
Friends.
bald? And I'm like, but he's so good looking.
He's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Love him.
We said Oscar Isaac, right?
No. I love Oscar
I
Isaac.
thought we did. I picked him for a leading man in one of the series that I read, but he probably wasn't supposed to fit there.
No, I think I've
But I
also
picked him
placed him
anyway.
as someone before, and he absolutely did not suit. Like, I could make him like a Rhysand and I would be happy.
Yeah, but you picked him for Rhysand's dad.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Other people that maybe aren't my leading men, but people who I want to cast somehow that I just really love are Skeet Ulrich and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to put them. Those are other just people from our generation that
were great.
Are very attractive and would need to be in the, our generation's ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Oh, now I'm trying to think of who else I used to have a crush on.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Obviously. I would stare at his poster. Probably kiss it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adored him.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Mayer. I used to have a huge crush on John Mayer.
Oh.
I mean, I really liked his music.
Okay.
I didn't have posters of him or anything, but I had a really big crush on him for a long time.
Devon Sawa.
Oh my god, yes. We're really aging ourselves. Can you guess how old we are with these references? JTT, Devon Sawa.
Teen Beat. Anyone in Teen Beat?
TGIF. I feel like
I
want to hear other people's like older people that they would want to cast.
I was just thinking that.
I feel like there is also like I love like Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
I also have a massive crush on him.
He has a Teen Beat vibe.
Yeah.
He has a JTT vibe.
But I feel like I
Babyface.
want to say he's in his 30s. But
I doubt it.
I don't know if he is.
I doubt it.
But I feel like maybe I just want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his age for me. Oh, 28.
Almost there,
Almost
Jamie.
there.
Almost
Yeah.
there.
See, but like him I can get behind.
Anyway, for those who also think a little bit older in terms of their leads, tell us who your people are. I really want to know who we missed.
So many people. I know I'm missing so many people.
Lust on people. Okay, let's try a drink before it gets cold.
Oh, right.
And I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm like scared to drink it. It looks like it's like a watermelon drink.
I feel like it's watered down.
I feel like it needs more orange juice.
I'll figure it out one day.
Yeah.
It's way better than last time, though.
It is a lot better than last time. Like, I'll drink I don't think the last one I could even drink. It's strong.
Maybe it's what the gin waters down the taste. Because when I was doing the experimenting with the proportions, I was doing it not with the gin. I was just making a Shirley Temple.
Oh. The gin's really, like, taking over. Where I think that's where I'm like, I want more, like, that orange juice grenadine flavor to come through.
Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, I made a Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Now, in doing my Shirley Temple research, in some parts of the world, a Shirley Temple doesn't include orange juice. From our experience where we live, the Shirley Temple has some orange juice. Mm-hmm. So we did, and also there's variations on what type of soda.
Oh.
Which we call pop. But we did ginger ale.
What do other people do?
Like other lemon lime sodas like Sprite.
Okay, and I guess ginger ale is Canadian. I always forget that.
There's no ginger ale everywhere else?
I feel like it's like hard to get in the States and stuff when you go places. I remember like...
And then there's the battle between Canada Dry ginger ale, which is the brand, Canada Dry, or Schweppes.
Canada Dry.
Canada Dry versus Schweppes, if you all don't know, is kind of like the Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. Is it not?
Okay, wait, say that again. I was reading.
Jamie,
So sorry. I got into the ginger ale, the States thing. I think I made that up. Okay.
I'm saying the Canada Dry brand versus the Schweppes is kind of like the Pepsi versus Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Yeah, and people have their preferences.
Just think there's a more obvious answer for that one.
You just think it's Canada Dry.
Yeah.
But isn't that what, like, Pepsi people think? Well, now we're in a new territory here. But the point is, I used Canada Dry ginger ale, which is supreme.
Which is a great choice. That's the only choice you should ever make.
And I had to sort of experiment the proportions because the last time we had one, it was so sweet.
That it broke the table. And...
Yeah. But the one thing I'm having trouble with is making the proportions of just a regular Shirley Temple, because if we didn't have gin in it, it would be a good Shirley Temple because I had it several times. But when you add gin in it or add ice, it changes it. So anyway, this is my attempt.
It went better.
It's better.
Yeah.
I know it's ginger ale, it's grenadine, some orange juice, and gin. And
the
I did
that you don't put in your daughter's
some
drink.
drops of lime. All right. What are you going to write out?
6.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's higher than I thought.
No, I actually do like it, but I just think that's one of my favorite drinks is a Shirley Temple.
I know.
Since I was a child. So I have a huge expectation for it, and that's what, like, my taste buds are prepared for. Mm-hmm. But if I take that out of it, I do like it.
I feel like I want to make it again one day and redeem myself. I'll figure it out.
Really also want you to do that, or I might make it one day.
Or you figure it out also. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.5. All right. Let's get into alcohol. Feyre has returned to the Spring Court, determined to gather information on Tamlin's actions and learn what she can about the invading king threatening to bring her land to its knees. But to do so, she must play a deadly game of deceit. One slip could bring doom not only for Feyre, but for everything and everyone she holds dear.
As war bears down upon them all, Feyre endeavors to take her place amongst the high fae of the land, balancing her struggle to master her powers, both magical and political, and her love for her court and family. Amidst these struggles, Feyre and Rhysand must decide whom to trust amongst the cunning and lethal High Lords, and hunt for allies in unexpected places.
In this thrilling third book, in the number one... The fate of Feyre's world is at stake as armies grapple for power over the one thing that could destroy it. Okay, so our prologue, Rhys is making his way across the war field. We have the war between human and fae.
Yeah, just a depressing flashback.
It's super depressing. He's checking in to make sure any of the Illyrian dead are not Cassian. And my only thought in this chapter is why? Why are we getting this chapter?
I think it's preparing us for a war book or something. Like, to just be like, this is what Rhys has already experienced.
I don't care.
Yeah. But I was like, let's just...
care, Sarah.
No.
Get to the Feyre revenge. Oh, you know what we didn't say was the name of the drink?
Oh, yes. Which is?
It is pink and pretty, and I'm calling it Sweet Revenge.
Yes.
Because it's sweet, but it might give you acid reflux.
I'll be okay with that one.
Did you even just go with it?
Okay. Now, Feyre's just a pretty, pretty princess again. In her spring court and her paintings, and she knows nothing, and it's fabulous.
Part 1 is Princess of Carrion.
Oh, right, I forgot that it was called that.
And chapter 1 is just like you said, is Feyre acting like the pretty little princess, wearing pretty things and giving shy smiles.
Yeah. I do like that it starts off with, right away though, the painting was a lie.
Yeah, just the contrast between her speech when she's in her head and what she says out loud.
But just like her awareness, I think, in the opening scene of it is that, like, so she has like her mind thing out, so then she's aware when someone's coming over. Like, she's just acting this entire time, and says, like, when they come in, she like changes her posture and like pretends to be really focused, and she talks about smiling into her eyes because that's believable, and she's practiced it in front of the mirror. She is committed. She partly sounds like a psychopath, but I love it.
Yeah, go Feyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess in this chapter, it's her just curating herself. She's noticing the things that have happened since she's been gone, like the room being destroyed. And then, of course, she has to tackle her relationships, not only with Tamlin, but with Lucien and Ianthe.
Boo. It's for Ianthe, not for you, Lucien.
Yeah.
I think one of them, well, probably Tamlin, compliments her painting or whatever. And She's like, oh, it's still a mess. Like, being really modest. And then in her mind, frankly, it was some of my best work.
Just so different.
Yeah. I love it. It's just
like
so
her
enjoyable.
true self coming out, which is a little bit like, I don't know. I don't want to call it boisterous, but
She's more she's confident in who she is.
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah, like she's grown up a lot, and I don't know.
And being
just really
grown up is being able to be proud of the things that you do, that you don't have to make yourself small to make men like you.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a mess. I'm not even good.
So Lucian keeps asking about Elaine, obviously. So he learned that Elaine was his mate, which is huge, and I feel really bad for him because I'm both in love with him, and also I can imagine that feels really bad.
Yeah.
He's asking questions, and Feyre's trying to appease him, but Lucian doesn't believe her.
It's so hard for her to explain, like, yes, she's in this horrible place that I needed to get out of, but she's also fine.
Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. It makes it's
nonsense, even how she like
Feyre.
Explains it.
Yeah, they tortured you and you don't have memories and it was really awful, but like Elaine will be fine.
Yeah, but no, he won't do that. Like, he'll wait because like she's just really, that part I probably is like the hardest for her to do. But yeah, it just seems confusing. I do also like that you have excited to see this dance.
And he's also trying to call her out, but obviously he can't call her out too much because he also wants probably to keep in her good books because he wants to know
where Elaine is
okay.
And he probably does also still have that guilt as her friend.
True.
Like, there's so many like layers between the two of them.
He says, I'm surprised you're so calm given your promise in Highburn. Right? When she's like, I'm gonna kill everyone.
Yeah. You're all dead.
Yeah. So Lucia's just like, whatever's happening right now is really fucked up and I'm just okay. Ianthe has to redeem herself as well here because she did all that shit in Highburn where she gave over her sisters, and so she has to explain herself. Mm-hmm. And so Feyre has to go hear her out, and
she's invited to these things now. So,
and she's actually invited to the meetings.
Yeah.
And so Ianthe gives a bullshit sort of speech, right? Yeah. And that, oh, well, now you can be together forever with your sisters. Yeah, even though I asked no one permission and it was for my own gain. Yeah. And, you know, that you sort of have to make tough decisions in war. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, Ianthe, but like you just like did whatever you want.
Yeah, everything's a lie.
Yeah.
And I do like she notices at one point, like, Lucian's trying not to roll his eyes. Like, she's very aware of it.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard to have a conversation with someone like that where they're like, they have an answer for everything.
Yeah.
That is like, they can logic their way around something even though it's bullshit and everyone knows it's bullshit, but it's hard to interact with that person because they just like contain themselves in this mask and you can't penetrate it.
Yeah. But except for Tamlin.
What?
Except for Tamlin. He doesn't see it.
Tamlin's a different beast.
She even says, like, during that conversation, she realizes, she's like, he actually believes her.
He's a dummy. Chapter 2. I'm just getting more angry as the chapters go on.
Chapter 2.
She does get to connect with Rhys down the bond, which is really good.
Just from chapter 1, I like this part. Because, like, during the apology, Tamlin's something, yes, we'll try, to Ianthe, and Feyre thinks that was his new favorite word, try. Mm-hmm. Which I love. I just loved that part. And I needed to say it out loud.
Well, because it's not just, like, when someone says, oh, I'll try, okay, and then you give them a chance, but Tamlin said that lots in the last book, right? Like, he said that before, and then nothing changed, so she knows that it's bullshit.
Yeah. And then he's just continuously saying it.
Yeah.
Good.
So she does get to connect with Rhys down the bond.
Miss you, Rhys.
But they can't really communicate that much because they're super far away and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, they still have to be careful, and it's probably hard.
Discreet.
Yes.
Now, we meet the brother and sister dynamic duo, the nephew and niece of the King of Highburn.
And they are quite a pair.
They're really fun. They're really fun, and I really love them. I love true villains because, let's be honest, Rhys is not a true villain.
Nope.
in my eyes. Tamlin is even a little bit lighter of a villain than these two.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I do like throwing in these two as well as Jurian. It's just really fun.
Yeah. Very villainous. They're really weird. Also.
They're super weirdos. They're there to see where there's weaknesses in the wall, and once the cauldron is recovered, they can take down the wall. They were described from Feyre as one soul and two bodies, and so she guesses and describes them as that, and like they want to share a room, and then that's sort of weird. Jurian's a fun guy. I really love that in ACOTAR he's just a ring the whole time, and then now we actually get to interact with him as a person. I actually really love that about the series.
Yes. I will also always see him in my mind as Javier Bardem, and I can't unsee it.
I don't mind it. He's the wrong age, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, that's just always, like, he's one of the, where that just, like, really sticks in my mind. But I do love that, yeah, now he's a full-blown human out of a ring.
And he's funny. He keeps calling Feyre out because it seems as if he knows what's going on, right? He calls Rhysand her High Lord.
Yeah, but Feyre plays into it, though.
Well, not plays into it, but she's able to deflect.
Yes.
Right?
But she's, I think, also doing it for, like, the later lunch reaction.
What do you mean? Like, she wants Jurian to know?
No, like, for him, like, speaking that way to her the entire time was a way to then try and get, like, to put her guard down, to try and get into her mind. But she's also very on top of it because when they were at the summer court, they did a similar thing.
Oh, okay. So does this have to say with the next quote that I have? So he says, "Careful what you say, girl." And she says,
what?
"Or what?"
You'll throw me in the cauldron?
She strides past him and looks back.
Here's the first rule of this visit. Don't threaten me in my own home.
And so Feyre explains that wasn't for Jurian, that she knew the posturing had worked on him. But it was more a show for Tamlin to show her loyalty so that she wouldn't suspect. So they wouldn't suspect when she made a turn on each other.
Yes.
Like, she created these dynamics between Jurian where she can defend herself and continue to show Tamlin, I'm on your side.
Okay, please take back what I said because I got two parts mixed up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was confused.
Yeah.
I forgot that part.
Yeah. Nope, you were right.
And then this lunch. Oh, I love this lunch. It's so great.
I would love to be at this lunch.
I wrote LOL, she's still talking to Tamlin in her head. So funny. Just
always
how she's talking to him out loud, and then she has the dialogue in her head. That's such a contrast. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
She also suspects that the twins are Dimati, so she puts up her shield, sends out the protection to Tamlin and Lucien, and see that the twins are already I keep telling the twins they're not twins,
brother and sister.
They're brother and sister. That they're already trying to infiltrate their mind.
Yeah, so that part. So Jurian was like pushing to try and distract. Like Lucien, Tamlin, Feyre, like was doing stuff like that, like they had done. So when they were at the summer court, and then all of a sudden, like Rhys and Amberyn were distracting the other two. Like it was like they came in to the meeting knowing they were going to try.
Do we know this now that Jurian was doing that, or do we learn this later?
No, it was like mentioned in like part of it that she realized what they were doing when she saw that they were trying to creep into.
Oh, okay. No, I get what you're saying. The brother and sister were trying to distract.
Yeah, and
I
then
thought you meant that Jurian was trying to distract.
I think they all were, like, they knew, like, because he knows obviously what they can do.
I thought it was just the brother and sister trying to do that.
But I do love just that scene, and then when she realizes that they are doing it, and she can immediately
puts the shield down, and then they have this jolt back.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just like, oh.
And they have this staring contest.
Like, how badass do you feel doing that? And she's just like, oh, like what?
Oh, the acting. Oh, me?
Pretty me?
Tamlin asks what's wrong, and so she says nothing, and she fears her brow in confusion. And she offers a sweet smile to them and says, Their Highness must be tired after having such a long journey. And meanwhile, she lunges for their minds and drags the black talons down their mental shields, and then she goes back to eating.
I love it.
And then Jurian winks.
Like, he's, like, very...
This is the shit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Jurian, I'm starting to like him.
Right? Everyone knows what's happening but Lucien and Tamlin, pretty much.
He's Lulu, but we're starting to like him. He's funny.
I love a good villain.
He's like a villain, but he's like a, no, I don't want to say a jester. He's like a shit disturber. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, chapter 3 is when they go to the wall, check out the wall. Okay, I like this part.
Did you spill your drink all over your face?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So they're going to check out the wall. And I do love that Feyre very much, which I think she did at the lunch, like volunteers herself to go, and like Lucien playing the long game here.
She basically tells Lucien, I'm going to bring sentries, which he seems relieved by, but she wonders if he knew about her slaying the Ator and the things that she's done, whether he heard it through the grapevine or through other means. Mm-hmm. But Rich also speaks to Tamlin, if he had heard these things, which feels unlikely that he would have heard nothing, that if he had heard it, just speaks to, again, Tamlin's sort of rigidity that he has in these beliefs about how things should be. Him being the role of protector and feeding into his own controlling nature and anxiety and probably
really
some,
just
like,
putting blinders
misogyny
right
and
up.
Sexism thrown in there, right? So he's not taking evidence for Feyre's capableness. He's dismissing it already, even though this is what fed into her leaving in the first place.
Yeah.
He's doing the same tune, but pretending like he's not.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like when people, like, they make surface level changes, but they don't actually, like, deepen their the thing that will actually make them actually have changes.
Yeah, he just wants her to be the Feyre that first came there.
Yes.
That's the Feyre that he wanted.
He wants to go back to that.
Yeah, and he's just set on that, and blinders, and
he's not listening to her.
Still not listening. Will go to the ends of the earth and risk anybody's life, but won't really see her or make any of those changes.
Which reminds me of what we talked about in Play the Prisoner, right? You can't see it if you don't look at it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Melina's story, right?
Yeah. Then you're just going to keep going in that direction if you keep ignoring those things. Which I get it's also really hard to look.
It's so hard. I have empathy for that. It's just in this series, I want Tamlin to go in that direction.
Yes,
as much as some people don't want a redemption arc for Tamlin and they're like, fuck Tamlin. I think it would be really cool to see a really genuine, authentic redemption arc.
Yes.
Arc for him.
I would not mind a redemption arc for him. I don't want a book about him, like a full book, but I would like him in a book and to have some sort of redemption arc. Because even like reading this and as we continue, you are like almost, you're such an idiot sometimes. Like I do feel bad for you and I just want you to get out of this cycle because I don't think you're actually a bad person.
Oh my gosh, isn't it like that friend that you're like, oh, I can't agree with any of your behavior and your behavior is really awful, but I can only tell you so much, which is probably Lucien's experience, and you just like won't,
there's only so much you can do.
You won't look at it. You won't look at it, and I know you won't look at it.
Yeah, like there's only so much you can do, but you still want them. Like,
but you still
I want the best.
Them.
Like I know that person's in there. Please do it. So the wall.
I guess, like, Lucien calls out Feyre again about, like, if you're planning something, it'll land us in deep shit. So we know that Lucien is suspecting a little bit more. And then also he says something about her, there's hiding the ring after Mor comes to save her. Lucien hides the ring when Mor comes to save her, keeps that from Tamlin.
Which is annoying. Like, I think
they're trying to hide. Yeah,
he's saying it to her in a way, like
you're welcome.
Yeah, or like for her to understand what also like he went through, maybe. But I'm just like, but yeah, you're not helping Tamlin out in that situation. You're just let's just hide all this from him, and yeah. So that part it's kind of frustrating, but Lucien's been through a shitload also. So I have to say too many bad things about him because I feel like he's really in a
Ugh, imagine being Fae and living this many years and just people are dying and just like you. And I guess this is a lot of themes in different Fae books too, where you kind of lose your humanity in a sense.
Yeah.
So you lose your empathy because you've been through so much, because, you know, people can only experience so many pains and losses, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyway.
That's a longer conversation. One thing fun we found out is about Lucian's eye, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that Lucian's eye was carved out by Amarantha, but then he got this real cool fake eye. And that Lucian explains that it was from a friend in the Dawn Court.
Yeah.
The Jamie Dawn Court.
That's right. Don't know if you guys know, but that's actually what it's called.
Okay, let's talk about Lucian and Ianthe. This is heart-wrenching. Feyre notices that Lucian is trembling around Ianthe, and so they talk about Cal and Mai also as a different topic, and she learns that Lucian was the one that had to participate instead of Tamlin.
I hate it so much that he had to do that. Tamlin, that you let your friend do that. I just want to hold him.
Naked.
Verbally naked.
This is like a sad part emotionally. I don't want to.
Yeah, but this is just that's awful. That
Feyre said something like, "I wish I was there to stop it," and Lucian says, "You're a better friend to me than I ever was to you." And it's almost like they have this back and forth that in this moment feels so genuine.
And I think that she does really mean that. I think a lot of stuff that she feels and says, and the same thing for him, is very true. But they're also playing this other game on top of it.
So there's this camaraderie between them, and they obviously do feel like friends,
yeah.
Right? So it's weird. It's there was a previous trust that was broken because there was a genuine friendship, even though it was rocky in the beginning. But then Lucian has also opened his eyes to Tamlin's behavior and the abuse and starting to see it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's this thing where Lucian thinks she's lying.
Yeah.
And then she knows that he knows. And then also...
so many parts.
Their just relationship has evolved differently than what was happening in ACOTAR, where Lucian treated her like shit and just like... assumed so many things of her and really judged her and almost like he was better than her, and now it seems like he doesn't necessarily feel that way. So there's like so many layers and ups and downs and mountains and hills in this relationship that is fun to watch.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I do like how she says it was hard to remember to hate him, because I don't think she really does hate him.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
obviously we don't.
Yeah, we do not.
It's messy.
Yeah.
It's messy, but I do like in these moments, because Sarah J. Maas's books, I think, can lean to the romantasy in a surface level way at some points, that these moments remind me that these books also can have depth.
Agreed.
And that I do love them.
Yep.
That even those moments I go like, then I see this and I go,
right, love that.
Let's talk Alice. Alice is an asshole. I'm gonna repeat, which if you are not an ACOTAR listener to our ACOTAR episodes, and I'm gonna remind you that my view is that Alice is an asshole. That doesn't mean I dislike her. She's my girl, and she's also an asshole. I love this scene. I love the scene. She knows. She fucking knows.
Yeah.
Feyre.
I love this part.
For a woman who had been tormented and tortured for months, I looked remarkably well, and our eyes meet across the room. So Feyre
she's
knows,
too big for her clothes because she is healthy now.
Yeah, so Feyre understands the logic. I look healthy.
Great.
So the fact that I've been tormented and tortured doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
She is aware.
Yeah.
She is aware of that. So Alice says, "You could wear this," and pulls out her night court clothes. And I thought, Alice, you bitch.
I loved it. I don't even think that's a bitch move. I think that's a great move.
No. I'd say, Alice, you bitch. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I was there the day, saw the Morrigan, begged her to take you out. She didn't tell anyone. She knows.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think she does say more at that part to even, like kind of insinuate that more. And then also she does mention, because like she is from the summer court and how she has people there still, and that Feyre seemed to be pretty happy when she visited not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alice has really put it together, but she's just like, They say you came back different, came back wrong. What? Crow's laugh. Oh,
sorry, that was
Jesus.
really loud.
I never bothered to tell them. I think
Wait,
you
no,
came.
you have to laugh.
Oh, okay. They say you came back different, came back wrong. Is that a crow?
There you go.
I never bothered to tell them. I think you came back right. Came back right at last. Alice.
Right, you're like, asshole Alice, and then she brings it back around where she's like, yeah, I see you. I see what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And also, I see that you're happy. I see that you're happy, Feyre.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to support that. You know what? I'm going to help you. You're going to put on this white dress because I know exactly what you're going out to do.
And she's like, just don't hurt anyone else. Yeah. Do whatever you want. Just don't hurt anyone else.
Don't hurt me and my family, really. That's all she's
she's a little bit neutral.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think she can see very clearly
what's right and wrong. And...
Yes, and what happened to her before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like she's happy for her. I think she also spent the most time with her.
Yeah.
Really while she's been there. So obviously cares for her. She's like, yeah, you go get him. I would also like to mention that Alice, like, talking about the summer court part, Feyre also realizes that Charquin never told on her, which I like.
Well, he said he wouldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, even after, like, they betrayed him, he still didn't.
And she thinks, even after maybe he heard that she went back to Tamlin, he still hasn't said anything, which is interesting.
Right.
Okay, so chapter 4, we are back to the summer solstice.
Oh, so much has happened since a year ago.
I know, and the summer solstice feels way less...
magical.
Way less magical than the last time that we went there. Feyre, well, of course we know that she's on her revenge
tour.
On her revenge tour. So we know that, but we start to see that she's going in on Ianthe for this endeavor.
Yes. I do love the white dress. I just feel like that was like a little cherry on top. So she just looked so like angelic.
Yes.
And yeah, I really just enjoy this part.
She really did it. She just sort of made a mockery of her rituals in a sense. Mm-hmm. Even though there's the other people that are there, so like the prince and the princess, the brother and sister, and Lucian and such, who are sort of looking at Ianthe like, okay, whatever you're doing is sort of stupid, but we're participating here. So she sort of plays off of that and tries to make a mockery of it.
Because you know how much Ianthe loves, number one, the attention, to be the center of it, and to just be viewed as this godly woman.
She wants to be someone who's really important and that people rely on and look to her for her advice. But she's kind of losing sight a bit. No, actually, I would say she's not losing sight. I think she's probably aware that she needs to get people on board. It's just that the tactics that she's doing is not working.
Yeah. And
then Feyre sort of fans the flames.
Oh, it's so good how she just like slowly gets each person, like the siblings or whatever, up there, then like Tamlin up there.
But Ianthe does that of her own making, so that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, Ianthe is making it worse. Even if Feyre did nothing, Ianthe is sort of making her bed.
Yes, 100%. And then just at the end of it, how it's kind of like a line, almost how Feyre and Lucian are one side, they're on the other.
And the sunlight is supposed to stream through. And then we understand from Feyre's dialogue that she moved the sundial
Because nobody was paying attention, and she just moved it over a little bit, so Ianthe didn't know exactly where to stand to make it look like she was blessed.
Great. So great.
And then Feyre's like, oh my god, I'm the light.
I am Feyre Cursebreaker.
I'm being blessed.
So Feyre sort of explains later that the point of this was to sort of fuel Tamlin's anger as well.
Mm-hmm.
So not just upset Ianthe, but to make Tamlin upset that she was doing this thing, not this thing, but, with Lucien beside her.
Because then Lucien does kind of realize what's happening and goes along with it at the solstice.
She's trying to make tension between his allies, so both Ianthe, which isn't so much working right now, but it's starting to work with Tamlin's view of Lucien, and she does it in a subtle enough way.
I just really like that whole scene, though. And she's just like, I made a show of looking surprised, and...
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Again, just Feyre's acting.
Yeah.
It's
what did she say?
Ridiculous and great.
If they could spy the wolf grinning beneath, and I think she does. She looks at Ianthe after and just smiles at her.
But not enough that it's explicit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she still is underestimating her also.
Yeah.
So you're not going to really think that. But this is probably like one of my favorite scenes of the whole series.
Now, chapter 5 is also a great one because we see how the little seeds that she's planted.
Do you like after Ianthe tries to like explain what happened and like going around like nobody really cares. But she does send this to Rhys like down the bond. I think he enjoys it. And it was also such like a Rhys move. Like the whole like acting. I just think he would be so proud of her.
She sends that down the bond?
Yeah.
That he would be proud of her?
No, I think he was probably so proud of her.
Uh-huh.
But she sends down the bond like what happened. So he could see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like what happened and everything.
Yeah.
Probably think he's so proud. I miss you, Rhys. Okay.
So chapter 5, we get how we start to see these seeds that she's planted in terms of Lucien and trying to make Tamlin jealous. We see it sort of not conclude, or I guess conclude, but this is what she's building up to. And so going to Lucien's room and getting him to comfort her because she's had a nightmare.
And she's in really cute pajamas.
Yeah, a little bit revealing. Leaving Lucien's door open, but blocking out the sound. Mm-hmm. But she sort of sent signs to Tamlin of like maybe he might think that this is the night that they're going to be intimate. So that he would likely try to come out of his room.
Yeah, like she just planned it so...
Yeah.
Well.
And so that he would be at the right place in the right time, that he would see that Lucien's door was open and that they, then he would walk in and they're together.
Yeah.
But Lucien wouldn't hear anything because of the blocking of the sound. It's just... And then Tamlin catches them in the moment of this embrace that obviously... is innocent, but Tamlin perceives in a certain way because of these seeds. It's
bravo, really.
It's a bravo revenge story.
Yeah, that was just planned.
And I wonder too, rereading this, I'm like, does Lucien fully understand what just happened, or does he process it afterwards and maybe go, oh,
probably,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe as we read on. Because I haven't read on past this chapter,
Same.
So I don't have the refresher yet, so I'm not actually sure if Lucien fully gets what she just did.
Yeah, I also do feel bad for him because it is like they both have nightmares, and I think she talks about that. So he is just like, I'm just trying to console her because I understand, and he's just trying to be there for her.
It's innocent on his end.
Yeah, on his end, it's completely innocent. I'm just like, no, I have like, loose.
It would be cool to get a Lucien POV.
Yeah, of this.
Like the first, 5 to 10 chapters of...
Yeah, how he was...
Or actually just this book of Lucien.
Yeah. And then I just have in quotes at the end of it, she has, I was the nightmare.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think she's probably more badass than she thinks she is. But even though these revenge chapters.
I don't know.
But she is very feeling herself.
She had a great day where everything really came together perfectly. And all these little...
That's true. If this were me, I would be like, everyone, look how smart I am. Look what I did. Did everyone see that? Look what happened in my head.
Yeah. I think with Ianthe and then now this to just like come to fruition, I'd be like, yeah, look what I just did, you assholes.
All
right. Casting call. Casting call. Casting call.
We have the sister and brother stars of this first part of Akawar because they are stars to me.
That's right.
They're ridiculous and evil.
Yep.
So who do you have?
Okay. Aubrey Plaza.
Okay.
And I had someone else and I could not remember who it was for the life of me right now. So Zachary Quinto.
Okay.
Other option, Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
They could do it.
Yeah. I mean, they're great actors.
They are. I think my issue is I see this such as a funny role. That, like, when you say the Gyllenhaals, I automatically go, oh my god, it would be really fun to see them funny. But I'm like, I don't know that everyone sees this as, like, a comedy.
It's hard not to, yeah. But I think they could. I think they could totally do it.
I would be like, no. But if it was a fun comedy role, I'd be like, do the Gyllenhaals.
They'll love it.
It'd be fun to see them do that.
Yeah. I also do think Aubrey Plaza would also be great in it.
Okay, great, because she was one of the ones that I wrote down.
Oh!
So my first picks, I couldn't get out of the comedy space.
Yeah.
My first instinct was Jordan Peele and Chelsea Peretti.
Oh.
Even though they're a married couple.
Yeah.
I just kept imagining. I just kept imagining as even though they're serious and stoic and composed, I just kept imagining it as funny. So I imagined them. And then I was like, oh, Aubrey Plaza would be really funny. And I was like, what if Nick Kroll was the brother?
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
But I actually really did try hard before it. And I'm like, no. Okay, think of someone who would be good for a brother and sister drama role. But I'm like, fuck it. It's like, this is how I thought of it.
Yeah, no. I like it.
Okay.
That was a good combo. Yeah.
It'd be hilarious. I think of Akawar as a comedy. Maybe not by, like, halfway through.
No, but there's always been, like, comedic parts in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. It makes it even better for that reason.
Well, it's in my imagination anyway.
Yeah. The whole first 5 chapters of this book are very comedic.
Yeah, exactly. Who is the MVP?
MVP. Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious one.
Mm-hmm. Obviously can't fit. I'm not picking Feyre.
We can pick Feyre.
Yeah, but that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've given her enough congratulatory praise. Mm-hmm. But yes, MVP Alice, 100%.
I don't know if I can give someone different because Alice is my choice as well. She says it how it is, which we've discussed in mostly ACOTAR. That's what. Yeah, that's what's funny. Even though she's an asshole, that's what's great.
She's honest.
We love her for it, and yet, even though there's the asshole part of it, we can see through it to her care.
Yeah.
Of Feyre, but also keeping a measure of knowing that she is in a certain role within that household. Mm-hmm. She knows that she has less power, and so her loyalty is to her family.
Yeah. But she
So
still
there's-
finds ways to support her.
Yeah.
Like by completely lying about when she was taken and that whole part. Just, yeah, so many things that she's done. And then just helping her out with the outfit suggestions was great.
Yeah. And then obviously we want to give a piece to Feyre because all of the revenge things that
Yeah.
she's doing, we obviously see how it's all played out, and she's able to do it subtly. And like, I'm just like, where have you learned this from, Feyre?
Right? Well, she's painting, she's brewing up all these little ways to do it, just like
It's
the
smart.
slowest
It's
revenge.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it's like the hunter in her, right? Like you can't just
True.
to like place traps.
Yes.
You need to be smart about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yes.
Bravo, ladies. Bravo.
Okay. Well, we will be back continuing our Goldfinch coverage, continuing our Akabar coverage. If you are not following us on social media already, we would love to interact with you there. We're on Instagram and TikTok, and we're trying our best there. We are posting our drink pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It would be helpful to follow the wherever our podcasts are streaming. So whether you listen to Apple or you listen to Spotify, give us 5 stars, give us a comment. It's incredibly helpful for us.
Yes,
We
please.
appreciate it.
I dare you. That'll make people do it.
Yeah, so we'll see you for the next one. Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.